Hi, Cecil. Are you there or Corinne there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
I've got a request from Maggie to resend the invite for the Zoom meeting.
Oh, okay, I'll send that right now.
Okay, thank you.
Bet. Should be on its way.
Thanks.
She is.
Yeah, there's Maggie.
Hello.
Hi, Maggie.
How are you, Stuart?
Yeah, good, thank you. Happy New Year. Seems a long time ago, though.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a very safe Naz I can see with the mask on.
Yep.
Are you in the? Looks like you're in the office, Naz.
Yes.
Okay.
We've been in the office and so
Hence the mask.
yes. I hope everyone can hear me because I will need to
we can
keep
hear
this
you
on.
great.
Yeah, sorry,
Okay.
what'd you say?
We can hear you.
Great. And so like maybe we have the applicant in and we can get started.
Great. Okay, well, welcome everybody. This is the January 12th Site and Architectural Review Committee. This is a process that takes place for a subset of the Planning Commission to informally review the items that will then go on to the Planning Commission. So we provide general feedback and then planners will then continue to work with you throughout the process. So planner for today is Naz. Go ahead, Naz.
Okay, if you don't mind, if I can just do 1 second. Sorry. Hi there.
Hi.
I'm trying to do a meeting. It is just a little bit hard to hear. I'm on headphones. I'm trying to conduct a public hearing that's being recorded on YouTube. So if there's any way maybe you could like do a different spot? Yeah. That would be great. Thank you. Okay. Sorry about that. There's evidently some HVAC maintenance scheduled for today right next to my desk. So, okay, let me share my screen and get the PowerPoint up. Okay, so 1409 Harriet Avenue is a major modification to a previous plan development permit. And the project site is zoned plan development and located at the corner of Harriet Avenue. And this is just north of Pollard Road here and Highway 85. So in 1981, this 6-lot subdivision was created through a zone change and a PD permit. The subject property, which is this one here, it was already developed with an existing home, and that was retained with the 5 other properties being developed and then a private street. So as such, adding any new square footage to a previously approved plan development permit would require city council approval. So here we have the site plan. Harriet Avenue is located along the front, with Harriet Court being here. The proposal would include a new 2-car garage addition to the existing single-family home, and then a detached ADU in the rear yard. There is an existing detached garage here that would be removed as part of the project, but the driveway access location would remain the same because it's accessed through here, and the doors are located on this side of the garage. So staff finds the detached ADU is consistent with the applicable standards. The SARC may want to discuss whether the garage addition could be considered integrated per the Santa Tomas plan, or if it looks like an addition. And then here's the front elevation of the main home. So with that, I will stop sharing my screen. And Darko, are you here with us today? If you had anything to add. You're on mute if you're talking right now, and we don't see you. Okay. Okay, anything from the applicant? If there's anything you'd like to add, I see you're on mute and we're not able to hear you, but otherwise we will just go into comments from the SARC members. Okay, hi.
Hi, I'm working with Stephen on item number 2. So
Oh, okay, got you.
yeah, that's why I was muted and stuff, but I know you asked me to unmute.
Sorry, I didn't know that was
Okay.
the other project. Okay, so my applicant did indicate he was going to be here at the meeting today. I did not hear from him earlier today, but I guess if there are any comments or discussion points that the SARC members have, we could start that now.
Naz, what is the setback of that garage to the front?
It is just about 25 feet. That's why they kind of had to jog it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that was the reason for that
Yes.
offset. So the the house isn't exactly parallel with the front lot line. That's the reason.
Yeah, it's not a rectangle. It's kind of angled along the street. I can bring up the site plan again if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm looking at page 10 of the packet, which looks like it shows the lot line on the right side there.
I think on the let's see, this is page 8 is the site plan.
Mhm.
So yeah, the garage was originally the straight line at the front parallel with the house, and then they
Can you
had
share
to
the
kind of
screen
jog
you're
it
looking at?
to make the setbacks work. So the 20-foot setback applies to the house, and that's here, and then the 25-foot garage setback is here.
Mhm.
So they did kind of have to adjust the garage to make the interior garage dimensions and then the setbacks work.
Was there any talk of doing it, this way a bit more? I don't know if you can see my annotation.
I mean, they received comments at the beginning that it's recommended to kind of do something that's a little more integrated with the house.
Right.
And then in addition, originally they did have setbacks that didn't comply. And so it was recommended that take that opportunity to kind of adjust the design a bit. But this is what they presented.
But I see the setback. So it's this is the setback right here, right?
Yes.
We're talking about this line. Yeah. I mean, I think overall it's a pretty minor addition. But it does feel like it's kind of distinct from the rest of the house. So if there is something that could be done to integrate it a little bit more, that would be helpful. That's why I was asking about why the garage was offset the way that it was, with the middle part kind of protruding and the left side being recessed.
I think I saw maybe the owner come in briefly. And I no longer see them on our meeting. But yeah, one of those suggestions was
It looks like somebody says, are you able to hear us? So I think we cannot hear you. There's a note in the chat.
let's see here. Can I see the chat if I'm all right? I've got this covered since I'm sharing. Okay, let me just stop sharing if you don't mind a second, and then okay, now I found the chat box. Yeah, I don't see them in the meeting anymore.
It's it was in the Q&A.
Right, but I don't see them as a participant.
Yeah, I don't see anything either.
I think very briefly I saw the name come in, and then I don't see them anymore in the meeting with us.
Do you, Stuart, do you have any comments or?
Yeah, no more than yours, really. But the same. It looks a bit, stuck on the side as opposed to integrated. If there was something to make it look like it's just a square stuck on the side of the house, I'd to get the issue over the setback, and you've got the door to the side. But I take your point. If there was something, I'm not sure what, that could make it look more integrated into the house design, that would be a good thing. I don't think it's a massive thing, but it would help. They have kept the eaves to follow the similar design to the house, but it does type of stand out, and is proud of the house as well.
Yeah, and I think even page 7 of the packet, which has the 3D rendering, I mean, I think that really the bottom image there really demonstrates how that right-hand garage kind of becomes the focal point, because it's proud of the rest of the house and the left-hand side of the garage as well.
Yeah, especially walking from that angle, the first thing you just appears a set of garages or garages. Sorry, when I'll speak American.
No? Oh, right here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what could be done there. It's not as though you can stick a tree in front of the thing, is it?
Hi, Darko, are you able to hear us? Okay,
Yes,
I think we have
sorry,
the
I was.
applicant.
Yes, hi. Sorry, I was in the wrong place. We were in the webinar, and I was
Okay.
trying to talk, and then we couldn't.
So I don't know if you heard some of that conversation, but there were some questions on the garage configuration and kind of, I guess, the thought process on how it's placed, and if there's something that can be done to kind of better integrate it into the rest of the house so it doesn't look so much like it was an addition.
Well, I guess it would just depend on which angle you look at. Is how if you look at it on the elevation, you might say it's not quite as integrated, but if you look at it in perspective from different angles, it looks fairly integrated. We could push it back a little bit more, but I don't know if that's going to help that much.
I guess we looked at the 3D rendering in the package.
Yeah, well, if you look at one of the perspectives that I provided, it's it just looks like it's part of the, and I could provide more. It just looks very much like it's part of the building.
Well, I guess that's what we thought didn't look like part of the building. So on
and when you look at an elevation, then it looks like it's a little bit to the side because the roof doesn't continue in the back. That's really what the issue is.
Yeah, slide 7 kind of shows it when you view it from the front elevation, I guess. Yeah, it looks, you just see the garage, right?
But as we changed it from the beginning, we altered the way the garage looked, and we pushed it back because of the setback. So the setback is already pretty good, and because we pushed it back, then that's even more attached to the house.
Yeah, it looks like it's right at the setback.
Well, it's in
what I was saying before you joined is that the garage on the right side, it's just very proud or protruding and kind of becomes the main focal point of the house, which is not what we generally like to see. So if there's some way to make the garage less of the what you see, make the garage less prominent.
Well, that's what I was saying. We can push it back. We can push it back 5 more feet. Just lose some of the yard.
I lose the window.
No, back towards the back.
Towards the back, I have a window by the fireplace.
The owner's here with me. That's what I was.
Okay. I think pushing
So
it
if we
back
push
would
it
help.
back, then if we push it back, we can change the way the roof looks, and the roof attaches to the house more. That's the main.
I think that
roof.
would make a big difference. Yes.
If we push it back, there's a fireplace there. That's going to be an issue. But we might be able to integrate the main roof, not just the porch roof.
Right.
That's what I was saying in elevation. When you look at the actual elevation, you see that gap in the roof, and that's where it looks a little bit odd. But you don't look at a building in just pure elevation. You look at it in perspective. That's what I was showing. I showed one. I can show others, but that's why I didn't think it was as big a deal. Now the whole the garage being prominent, that's why I split up the garage. I changed the roof, the way the roof was, to make it not such a big structure, just protruding out.
I think splitting up the roof is good, but maybe you could look at it the other way, where the left side, or push back the right side of the garage.
Yeah, so you want to flip that.
Stagger. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to flip that. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it doesn't. We can do that. Just one side, push it back more. That's fine. It doesn't have to be the whole garage. The only thing is the issue there is just the fireplace. Once we push it a couple more feet, then we're going to be into the fireplace, and then that's going to encroach in the garage, and then we're kind of maxed out in our coverage.
Mm-hmm.
And that means we have to push it to the left side of the property, or we have to make it bigger. So
Okay, so unfortunately we have spent our 20 minutes, but Darko, I have the feedback from the SARC, and I can follow up with you on things that we could do to kind of reduce the prominence of the garage and kind of
Make it more integrated.
integrate to the rest of the house.
Yeah.
So,
Perfect.
okay, so yeah, unfortunately we have to move on to the item 2, but I will follow up with you. And
Thank you, Liz.
thank you very much, members of the SARC. And then this will go to the Planning Commission. It's scheduled for 2 weeks from now. So Darko, we might have to get some drawings turned around quickly if you want to make changes, but we'll talk later. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item 2. So if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and get started, and I'll start by sharing my screen and getting the presentation going. All right, I think we're all set. So first and foremost, thank you and good evening, Vice Chair Maggie and Commissioner Chang.
Good evening.
I don't think you're going to be vice chair much longer, are you?
Nope.
Yeah, quite
Just,
possibly changing even
Less than a couple hours, probably.
Yeah.
Boss.
Okay. Well, this is another kind of a rather simple application permit. It's for a new 2-story residence at 1362 Hacienda Court. So this particular project site is a 7,000 square foot lot. It's located at the end of Hacienda Court, south of West Hacienda Avenue and west of Burroughs Road. The property is zoned R110. It's in the San Tomas area neighborhood, and it's currently developed with an existing 2-story home, which would be replaced by the proposal. Two interesting parts about the project. One is that although it's an R110 lot, R16 standards apply because it's substandard in lot size. So we're actually applying the, I think in terms of development standards, the lot coverage and front and side and setback standards as a result. I think also there's a typo in the report. I think I incorrectly noted as a flag lot. I've already corrected that in the Planning Commission report. This is a carryover from a prior permit. So in terms of the proposal, so this is actually showing the streetscape view of the project. It's kind of a composite I put together, so that's why it's a little bit less than professional. Just kind of showing how it looks relative to the street view. And you're seeing the top-down view of the site, of the project relative to the property lines of the site. So it is kind of a pie-shaped lot. And in terms of the development, it's going to be a 3,149 square foot, 2-story single-family residence. It incorporates a prominent front entry, which we're actually seeing right about here. And it's going to have either, what's depicted here is, I think, a black metal standing seam metal roof, or it's going to be a solar glass, like a Tesla roof. And it has a modern, that semi-transparent garage door we've been seeing. It's kind of popular these days. Overall, the building uses traditional building shapes and forms. Like you have, hipped, and you have a gable roof and hipped elements throughout. And you have these offsets in the building walls, which help kind of pop the transition in materials that they're using. So, and then overall, these features, they do help break up the mass of the building as it's viewed from the street, and help the building in general achieve design compatibility with the San Tomas area neighborhood. With that said, as staff, we actually identified a couple of discussion points for the SARC to consider. Now, when you're looking at this home relative to the streetscape, there's always that question of whether or not alternative colors and materials should be proposed to achieve greater compatibility with the surrounding neighborhood. Also, in consideration that the applicant is proposing either a standing seam metal roof or solar, the reason for that is in part due to cost. I think it is the applicant's preference to go with solar glass if they can afford it, if it comes out pricing wise to be cost effective. But this is always, it comes down to like a material choice, right? So the SARC, it's at your discretion to decide whether or not one of the two should be preferred and indicated on the plans as the approach, or we could always just leave it open-ended as it's been presented. And the last is, so this is actually showing, I've just pulled 2 images online, just kind of showing a very similar, very comparable building front facade, where you have this kind of taller, unarticulated facade above the garage and the windows up above. And a question is raised of whether or not a vertical, in this kind of taller vertical wall, whether or not we should have some type of horizontal element to provide architectural relief, such as a trellis extending in front of the garage. So you can actually see, I'll go back a slide real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. This is actually, it's kind of reversed because the garage is on the left. This is an example of one of those trellis elements. This is it in white. This is a wood one. And if you look at the proposal, you have that kind of a taller 2-story element. Granted, it is interrupted. You do have like this little bit of a break provided by the front porch area, and it is offset, but it might benefit from having something to kind of break up that mass there. So with that said, I'm gonna turn it back over to the SARC. And you're muted, Maggie. I'll go ahead and mute myself, actually.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me know. Thanks a lot, Stephen. That was a great overview. Commissioner Ching, would you like to start?
Did the applicant want to say anything before?
Sure. Hello. Good evening. My name is Bess Worsema from Studio 3 Design, and we've worked extensively with Stephen to be able to fit this house onto this property. The unique shape really compresses the buildable area and creates kind of a long linear strip in the middle with which this home can be built. So we worked hard to transition the roof lines so that it would at least feel like, for instance, at that garage step, that the house had some movement to it and wasn't just an extruded box. And then that's further highlighted with the materials changes. The palette is is generally a neutral palette and suits kind of their desire to have a house that, you know, that modern farmhouse look is very current right now. They did not want a bright white house. They wanted something that was a little bit more natural, brought in some wood tones, was a little richer in color. I would say that, you know, we're open to the idea of a trellis element over the garage to break up that mass if that's something that you think would better the project. We probably suggest, could we do it in a stained wood that would perhaps match the columns and the details at the front entry porch to kind of bring that natural wood color across as well.
That's great to hear. Thank you.
Yeah. Did you want me to go?
Sure.
Maybe?
Yes.
Yes, I think it looks nice. I like contemporary designs. I think it's been sensitively designed and coloured, and the style and the tones to type of fit in with the rest of the neighbourhood. To the particular points I think Stephen brought up on the roofing, it would be great if solar glass could be used, if that was economically viable for the owner. That's always a good idea. If not, a metal roof. I think the metal roof would be good and would fit the style. And then on the final bit on the articulation, I you know, personally, I think a suitable trellis, you know, I think per Bess's comments might be a good addition. You know, obviously it would fit in with the style. So whether it's a contemporary style metal trellis or wooden style, or, you know, I'm certainly not the expert and wouldn't want to become prescriptive on that. But you know, maybe a rendering or two showing that to contrast it with no trellis might be valuable for the commission to consider. But apart from that, I think it looks nice.
Yep. Thank you, Commissioner Ching. Yeah, I also agree. I think it's a really nice design. The color palette, I think is great. It's nice to see something a little bit different being done, and very organic in look. I'm fine, happy with the solar glass or the metal as well. I would like to see something done to break up that front as Stephen suggested. And other than that, I think it's a really nice design. It's going to be a great addition to Campbell and to the street.
All right, well, great. I've got good feedback from both of the commissioners, so I will just work with Bess to maybe have an exhibit, maybe showing what it would look like with or without a trellis for the Planning Commission to consider. And we'll come about with a kind of a open-ended condition of approval, which would allow for either the standing seam metal roof or solar, so that we kind of leave that option open to the applicant or the property owner for that matter.
Okay.
Okay, well, I think that's it for this particular item. So for those of you who have another meeting after this one, enjoy. I won't be joining you.
Well, enjoy your evening then.
Yeah, I'll try.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, commissioners.
Thanks, everybody.
Alternative. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Bess.
Bye.
Thanks, Stephen.
Bye.